This empty chair represents the addict who died today, not knowing recovery was possible.
Before we go on to introduce our guests, I'd like to remind you, for those of you who haven't kept up, we have a lot of episodes on YouTube. If you search The Empty Chair Show, you'll see all the episodes we have from the past and get caught up. Some really powerful episodes on there. I hope you tune in and see what's going on. At that, we pretty excited about this show tonight. Number one, my co-host is back in the chair where she belongs, so I'm going to let her introduce our guests and let her tell you where they're from.
Thanks. Well, my name is Colleen. I'm an addict. It's very nice to be doing this show again. I haven't been co-hosting, with him for a while, so it's nice to be doing this. We've been doing this show for a while, and I think it's really important to raise awareness about addiction. There's you hear a lot of bad things about what's going on, with all that stuff. But on the other side of it, there's a lot of people who are working recovery, who are working on themselves, and who are doing the right thing. So I think it's really important to, focus on that also. So with that being said, our guests tonight are from the halfway house that my recovery actually started 7.5 years ago. Some of the ladies from Women's View. So we have Tara, Kathy, Nicole, and Stephanie. So I guess we'll just start with if you each want to just say a little brief history of life before the View, maybe when you started, using and kind of what brought you to recovery. If you
don't mind, give us the age when you started, because we always ask that.
Okay. My name is Tara, and I want to say that I probably started between the ages of 10 and 11, and it was really drinking, smoking pot. And as time progressed, it was just kind of experimenting with a lot of other things that were around at the time. They were readily available, and it just kind of snowballed. I got into a car accident when I was 14, and I had to have reconstructive surgery on my hand 3 times, over a 1.5 year span. So I was prescribed narcotics for the pain, and so I got really heavy into pills around 16, and but I actually ended up getting pregnant, so I kind of was able to stay away for a little while. But after my daughter was born and I started going back to work, I worked 2 jobs. I went to school full time. I did it, and I was taking care of her. So when I started to use again, it was more of I was doing it to almost treat myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then, I was also doing it because, it made me superwoman. And, and I was able to work those 2 jobs and to go to school and to take care of my daughter on, no sleep, and just kept going. And it just, continued to snowball until it got out of control. And I couldn't stop, and then things started getting more expensive. I couldn't afford them. I turned to the things that were less expensive but could do the job, so I mean, and it got out of hand, and I started losing those jobs and getting kicked out of the house, losing my car, and all those things that you end up doing to get what you need.
Yep.
And probably started trying to get clean and go into recovery 5 or 6 years ago, and I was able to put a little time together the last time I was actually at this program. So this program really helped me the first time, because I really couldn't stay clean longer than 3 weeks without being in a program. But I was able to get a little over 1 year last time.
Good.
Yeah, and I got complacent, and I stopped going to meetings. I stopped reaching out. I stopped asking for help, and just kind of went back to those old ways.
Yeah, but the good thing is you know what it was like to be clean, so you know what it takes to be clean.
Absolutely.
So maybe you don't repeat the mistakes you made in the past.
Hopefully not.
Let it go.
Kathy?
Hi, my name's Kathy, and I'm an alcoholic, and I probably started drinking when I was about 16,
Oh,
in high
late
school.
bloomer, huh? A late bloomer.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I didn't drink excessively. You know, we would go out on the weekends or whatever. Drinking was never a problem for me in my younger years. I had my children. I was married twice. I had 4 beautiful children. And when they were younger, I didn't drink excessively. After I had my last child, my relationship with my husband turned dramatically violent. It was a very traumatic experience for me and for the children, and I didn't know how to deal with it. So I turned to alcohol. So I didn't start drinking alcoholically till I was probably in my middle to late 30s. But I really firmly believe that my alcoholism was just dormant for all those years, because when I started drinking, using drinking as a coping mechanism, it just went incredibly crazy, incredibly fast.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I got to the point where I was drinking daily from the time I woke up until the time I passed out. You know, I didn't care about anything at all. And it just took away the person that I was. You know, I was an empty shell of a person. You know, I'm a very faithful kind of person. Now I'm more spiritual. I still have a lot of faith, but it's turned into a spiritual journey for me also. I had quite a few years of sobriety. I ended up getting sober in '99, and I had quite a few years of sobriety. And then, you know, again, life took over. I ended up taking care of my mom. God bless her. She had Alzheimer's. You know, working full time, the kids, the grandkids, and everything else got more important than my sobriety. So I stopped going to meetings. I stopped going to church. I pretended everything was okay. And it was only a matter of time, you know, and I ended up relapsing. And I relapsed hard. I relapsed for 2 years. I drank 2 straight years, and it got worse than it was before I got sober the first time. And then I got sober again, and I was sober for 4 years. And then I relapsed again. It's just been a continuing pattern. And now I'm at Woman's View now because I know I need extra help. I really have to concentrate and work on myself. And I'm learning a lot.
Yeah.
Good.
I really am.
Well,
So
I mean, we hear it a lot, like I know I hear it a lot in meetings, just how we have to keep our recovery, like first no matter what, and anything that we put ahead of that, whether it's kids, jobs, anything, because I can be guilty of it too. Like life starts to happen, and then those things start to get in front of meetings and this, because I know that when I slack on that stuff, like I can feel it. Like,
yeah.
Really, really bad.
Oh, I know. I relapsed months and months before I took that drink.
Yeah, yeah.
Months before I took that drink.
Well, it's good that you're at the View. It's like, you know, like commit. I know that's what I had to do. I had to go to treatment and, like, you know, learn how to have like that structure, like in recovery, and be able to, you know, have those tools, you know, to prepare myself like for life, because it definitely helped a lot.
Oh yeah, it's well, my life is so much better when I'm not drinking. I'm not that. You know, I always say I wasn't put on the face of this earth to not care about anything.
Right.
Well,
Well,
like
I guess the lesson, at least from the first two of you, the lesson you both learned is if you stop work in recovery, you'll
Your disease works on you.
yeah.
You will lose.
Nicole?
Nicole Addict.
You're going to count to 200?
I started pretty early also. I used with my kid's father. He was in an accident. And I don't know. I'm come from a really good family. And so it really doesn't discriminate, you know. And it spiraled really quickly, and that relationship became terrible. So I had to distanced myself from him, you know, and I moved back to my parents' house, which with my child, and that wasn't good at all either. So I checked myself into detox, and I ended up coming to Women's View, and it's a good group of girls. And definitely, I need to focus on myself. It's hard when you have kids, you know, and that's about it.
The support you get in the house is,
Yeah,
like,
I love
is
it.
helpful too. Like learning how to like build relationships. That was a huge
Yeah.
thing for me when I was
Especially
there.
with women.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like positive, like support, like getting through it, like together and everything. Like I remember that
Yeah.
being, you know, really, really helpful when I was there. Hey, Steph.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I'm an addict. Probably started when I was, I could say, 12. I was using weed and cigarettes and all that. And then when I hit 15, I started doing ecstasy. I got pregnant with my son at 17, so I stopped doing everything. Then I got into the Percocets when I was 20. Really haven't had much clean time because I had so much depression. I just wanted to hide all my feelings. Then I started doing a little bit more hard stuff, and I got into heroin. And it took over my life. I lost my son. I lost the trust of my mom, my father. Past 7 months has been the hardest for me. I lost my brother to an overdose 7 months ago. My best friend, my rock. So I went to prison for 3 months, and they found me Women's View, and they offered it to me, and it's the best thing that's happened to me. We have a good group of girls right now, a lot of support. It was hard for me because I didn't think anybody was going through the same thing that I was going through. So being in a house with a bunch of addicts really helps.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get comfortable because I'm a very isolated person. I never was before until I started doing drugs, but that's what it does to you. It isolates you.
Yeah.
So now I'm starting to come back out of my shell. And, you know, I got the trust back of my mom, my brother. It's hard not having him for the support, you know? So having my family back is a blessing.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's usually my part of the show when we start talking about your relationships with your family, parents, whatever. So it does sound like, in your case anyway, that there's been some real progress as far as that.
Yeah.
And tell me something, and this goes for all of you when you get to you. Have your parents put in the effort to maybe learn something about addiction and what it is and how powerful it can be?
My mother understands a lot. My brother was an addict also, so we were enablers together.
Okay.
So she understands a lot than I thought she understand, because I always used to say, you don't understand, you're not an addict. But she really does understand. And I see that now that I have a clear mind. Before I was just like, it's your fault, it's always your fault. But now I understand that she does understand, and I can go to her if I feel vulnerable.
You absolutely can.
She didn't talk to me for a little while, and then she started, and every day she reminds me that she loves me and she's proud of me, and it's a really good feeling to have.
It's important to have like that support, you know. And I know we have like consequences of our using where people don't trust us, and we have to like build that trust back. It took forever for him to trust me again, and I understand why. Like now, just because like all that damage doesn't get repaired in like a couple of months. But just being like so far removed from like who we are when we're using, like we're just like so far gone, and then like coming into, you know, whether it's a halfway house or just coming into recovery in general, and then we start to like clear up a little bit and just start to feel better, and people can see that on us. You know what I mean? Like we take our recovery with us like everywhere, and when we are doing it right, like they can see it, and that's
You're right.
what builds the trust.
And the parents have to take their responsibility as part of the whole process also. They have to learn about it. They have to try to get it, so to speak. Here's my pitch. I run a family group for the families of addicts called Circle of Hope. So, and anybody who is dealing with someone in recovery or not yet in recovery, we welcome them all. You can get in touch with me, I'll show you where to go. But I'm so glad. What about the rest of you? As far as your family connections, has it gotten better since you started your road to recovery again? Anyone?
It's definitely gotten better. I can't say that like my family fully understands. Because like I come from a family that suffers with alcoholism. So they view alcohol and drugs very separately. So I'm like an alien. I'm like the black sheep of the family. They have no idea where I came from. And my mother has tried to go, to another sort of fellowship of her own to try and cope with it, I guess. And I think, and I could always tell, when she, went to them, because, first it would start with, that really tough love, where, people were telling her, she used to, kick me out of the house, and she's enabling me, and, and she would be, really mean and nasty to me about it. And I'd be like, this isn't helping me at all. And then, as she, kept going, and I think trying to get a better understanding of it, because she still doesn't understand, but, I see that she's trying.
Great.
And she's like, I just want to help you. I just need to know how to help you.
Yeah.
So now it's a little,
Well, it's a little bit better. Yeah, it's a better attitude.
Yeah.
And she's making an attempt to learn.
And she's making an effort herself.
That's great.
Because it's got to be just confusing and scary. I'm not a parent or anything, but I've had loved ones that are out there, significant other,
Sure,
whatever, and it's
absolutely.
and I'm an addict too, and it's I would be the first one there to enable the person because I want to save them and I want to help them and I can do it. And it's you forget. It's wait a minute, I am powerless over what they do, what they say, if they use, if they don't use. We just have to not enable. It's so hard.
Yeah, and it is. I mean, that's why, you guys can't do it on your own. Parents can't do it on their own. They need a support system because, when it's someone you love, and
No, it doesn't. It makes it hard.
and you can't help them, and you don't, and you said, your mother, they don't know how to help or don't have the understanding. So, it's very, for you guys to be in recovery, your parents pretty much have to, or your family members have to have their own recovery too.
Yeah.
How about you?
My parents, they're coming around.
Good.
I'm the only addict in the family, so I'm also the black sheep. But my mom's also been to Al-Anon and stuff like that, so she tries that tough love. But I guess they're coming around. They don't fully understand it.
With our group, we're not really. We don't believe in enabling, obviously, but we're not big on tough love. When she was out in the streets, I mean, I wanted to keep in touch with her. I wanted to keep contact with her. I wanted to know she was okay. I wasn't going to say, come on home, but I'd go and visit her, and, we try to keep, because, it's all about, I wanted her to know that when she was ready, she could call me and I would get some help for her.
Yeah.
And, which she did, which led her to where you guys are right now.
Yeah.
You
I mean, I
know?
knew I couldn't call him for, money or once he started doing, getting his recovery and the circle and stuff like that and the enabling stopped. It was very frustrating when you're using, when that enabling stopped. It's damn, they know better. This is not good. But looking back, obviously it's the best thing that could have happened because that, I ended up going into recovery. I ended up at the View and, I just can't say enough good things about about that house and and I give all you guys credit for just taking responsibility for your recovery and and doing the meetings and doing all this because I mean I know I'm an addict just all of us and it can be difficult and uncomfortable the stuff we have to do even stuff like this what I mean it's uncomfortable to just sit here and speak from the heart but it's it's important to get the message out that people do recover women do recover. There are places that work. I think it's important to get that message out.
Yeah. Now, we passed right by you because you had kids and everything like that. How's your...
I am so blessed.
Yeah.
I am. My dad died from this disease. He died young. He was only 66 when he died. And I'm the oldest of 7. I have 6 other brothers and sisters. And we've all been affected by this one way or another. And my children have seen me with years of sobriety. My grandchildren had never seen me drink. So once I relapsed, they got really worried, you know, because they know how bad it can get. But thank God I have my family, because
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people when they share their stories that don't have that support. And I don't know as I could do this without them. But that's a yet too for me.
Right, right.
If I continue, you know, to not work on myself. That's why I'm trying so hard. I don't think I realized how much I was hurting them until this last relapse. My 35-year-old big hulking son was crying his eyes out, saying, "I just want my mama back."
Wow.
Yeah, it broke my heart.
Yeah. But those are the kind of things that we can remember if,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
the wheels like start turning, or if we start to get like complacent, because that's what I do. Like our memory can be like one of our biggest tools in recovery to kind of bring us back to, you know, get us like grounded again and remember like why we're here. I think it's definitely very important
It is.
that we don't forget that stuff.
So who's been at Women's View the longest, the shortest?
I think me and Nicole, because
Tara.
she
We came
came
together
and
pretty
then I
much.
came the next day.
So how long you been there?
3 months.
Yeah, a little
3
over 3
months?
months, yeah.
Okay,
About a month and a half.
Yeah, I just got there at the end of March, so
okay.
I'm a newbie. But I love it.
Yeah, so I mean, how many girls are there now? I know I talked to you, it's not a full house, but how many girls,
There's what, 9
9?
of us?
9.
9? And so what happens like when someone new comes in and you guys are there? How does the reception work?
We try to be as accommodating
Yeah.
as possible.
Yeah.
Because it's just awkward, you know, for anybody who can, you know, because you're coming into a whole bunch of people, you know, you might not have stuff, you know, you kind of like, you feel standoffish. So like we do try and welcome everyone who comes
Yeah.
in the door.
Now,
That's important.
That's
yeah.
right.
I was
Yeah.
going to say that. We're all new.
now, since you guys have been there, especially you two have both been there like 3 months, okay? You've probably seen some people leave through graduation, and you've probably seen some people leave for not graduation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, let's say the first part, has anybody graduated since you've been there?
Yes.
So what's the feeling in the house when somebody graduates? I mean, what's your feeling when, you know, someone's completed their time, they're out on their own? What does that do to you in a positive way or?
Well, it gives you hope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
Definitely.
That like people do make it.
right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they don't have it. You know, it's like they're not recovered, but like
Right.
it is possible. You know, so it does happen.
And
People do succeed.
And what about when someone has to leave for reasons other than graduation, when they don't quite make it, when they walk out or whatever like that? What kind of impact does that have on you guys then? Does it make you worried? Does it give
Yeah,
you
definitely.
more drive? How do you guys react when somebody doesn't quite make it?
It's crushing, yeah.
Because all you could do is pray for that person and hope the best.
Yeah.
You know, and it does make you grateful though that it's like I'm, you know, like I made it through another day.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't have to, you know, go back on old behaviors or relapse or use or, you know, what it's like I did the right thing today. So it makes you feel good about yourself and you do feel bad for that other person, you know, because you want to see everyone succeed.
Yeah.
Remember I told you how quick this goes by?
Yes.
Well, they just told me we have 5 minutes left, which means now we probably have 4 minutes left. So I'd like to each one of you just take a few seconds and, you know, whoever wants to go first, tell me what's it like to be in a program like Women's View? I mean, what do you feel about it? And we'll start with you.
I like being there. Not that I can't. I'm not gonna say like, you know, woohoo.
You'd rather be, yeah,
I
okay.
can't. 'Cause I'm working on an honest program. I don't want to be there.
Right.
Right. But I need to be there.
Right.
So it's like where I need to be. You know, because like I said before, I couldn't get 3 weeks. I mean, without being in a program. So like this program, it's like my security blanket
Good.
and it's like my safety net. You know, and I know there, like I could work on myself. You know, it gives you the freedom to do the things that you need to do. You know, and And it's definitely a better program than I know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's definitely the best one.
You don't gotta agree with me, I'm one of the biggest fans.
I know.
I'm an only child, so I love it. Like, you know, obviously there's times when you don't like it because you don't like being told what to do, but I couldn't do it without them. I definitely couldn't. And I love, like, going to meetings and seeing, like, you know, Colleen and the other girls.
Yeah.
I know they made it, so it makes me
Yeah.
feel good, you know?
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's a security blanket for me. Don't want to be there because I can't be with my child, so it's a little hard. But I know that that's where I need to be. And this will be my first clean time, so it's really showing me that there is hope out there at the end.
Absolutely.
And just being with a bunch of women that you don't know from Adam, and you end up becoming so close because of you're going through the same struggles, and it helps to have that support with you 24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you learn a lot about yourself in that kind of a situation.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you learn a lot of patience and tolerance and, or you know, whatever. But it's all good stuff. You know,
Absolutely.
it'll help you.
We got 2 minutes, you wanna wrap up?
Sure. I don't know. Like, thank you guys, like, for coming in and doing this. Like, I know it can be, like, kind of, you know, like, nerve-wracking. I still get nervous every time we do it. And I'm also, like, a big fan of Women's U. Like, I'm very pro-treatment anyways, but specifically for the View, like, obviously I hold that place, like, close to my heart, because if it wasn't for the View, if it wasn't for that house over there, like, I don't know, like, where I would like, be today. And I could identify with everything that all you guys were saying, like, you know, when people were leaving, when people were graduating, like, having that support all the time, you know, when things happen, you're going through pain, it's like there's usually always somebody there, even if you're, like, maybe kind of not fighting, but not getting along with someone, but all of a sudden that someone is going through something, it's like that doesn't matter anymore. Now it's like, okay, like, how can I help you? How can you help me? How can we keep doing this together and, like, get through it, you know, like, together? Like, alone I can't, together we can. Like, and I truly believe that. And I don't know, like, you guys can, like, definitely do it. I mean, I was in the house, like, it's just it's a beautiful thing just to see, like, all that recovery, like, under that roof. Like, you know, the disease definitely isn't happy with that address, and that's definitely a good thing.
And, you know, and again, I'd like to thank you all. I'd like to thank Paula for bringing you down, and Karina for setting it up, who is the CEO of the Psychological Center and one of the good people around.
We're a fan.
And we appreciate, you know, all the support she's given us, and, you know, and you're right, I feel the same way about Colleen. As far as I'm concerned, Women's U saved your life.
Oh, yeah.
And kept me from going crazy also. So
Ish.
semi-crazy. So on behalf of me and my host, who I'm so happy to have sitting next to me again, I'd like to thank you all for coming, and we'll see you next month on The Empty Chair. Good night.